In this video, we're going to go through how to create a new automation. Now, before we get started, a few things. One, the difference between an autoresponder and an automation is an autoresponder is a one-to-one transactional email. So if they do something, then you send out an email in response, or it could be triggered on dates and things of that nature. But it is normally just one email. An automation is a series of emails. So you can put several different messages in the automation, and you can add conditions to it and triggers to it to continue moving along the pipe. Now, before we get started, one of the things I do want to say as a prerequisite is you will need to have your sender profile created. You need this for sending any messages out of Emercury. But in case you did not do that, go into your settings and go through the sender profiles, and you'll see a video in there on how to set that up. Assuming you've got that set up already, we'll go right into it. As you can see here, there is an option to create an automation right from your dashboard. You can also go right into the campaigns area and select automations, which I'll do now. What we'll do here is once you're inside, you'll see there is an article here that you can click on that says how to create an automation. To start creating an automation, you can just click this button right here that says create new email automation. Let's do that now. So this is asking for you to create the campaign name for the automation. So I'm going to call this today's test automation, and click create. Now this brings you right into the automation itself, and starts off with asking you how you want to trigger the automation. So you can do this by adding contacts into a list. So if a contact is added into a list, it will trigger the automation. You can start the automation by selecting an existing list. So this would kind of work like a broadcast, but after the broadcast message, you'd have conditions that it could follow and do a series of follow-up emails. And then you have a tag match. So if a contact has a specific tag tied to them and it matches that tag, then it can start the automation. And then lastly, we do have a field match. So if their contact has a specific field that matches a keyword or a word in that field, then it can trigger the automation to start. So for this demonstration, we're going to start with going through new subscribers. So when a contact is added to a list, let's start the automation. So let's select that. And then you'll see here that it asks you to select a list, because it will want to know what list you want to use. I'm going to choose demo list 3 because there's no email addresses in it, and I can add one in there to show you how this starts. And then I'm going to choose the condition that it was added to the list, not based on the opt-in date, but based on the added date. So anytime an email address gets added to this list, it will trigger off the automation. Once I click save, you'll see that now there's a block on the top that says start campaign. And if I ever want to change the list name, I could just click on that blue block and it will bring up that same screen that we just saw. I'm not going to change anything here, so I'm going to click cancel, and it'll bring me right back to the automation. Now you'll see on the right side, this is your menu of different criteria that you could use within your automation. Let's say that you wanted to send a welcome message when somebody was added to a list, but you did want to wait maybe a few minutes. Let's say in this case 30 seconds, because I do want to demonstrate, actually 1 minute. I do want to demonstrate how this is going to work. Actually, you know what I'll do is I'm going to delete that, and I'm going to do send a message. So as soon as it adds into the list, I'm going to send a message. I'll add the wait after because I'm going to do a series, and what I'd like to show you at least is that it sends the message right away. So when you click on the blue block, again, you'll see on the right side here that you have some message options. When you click on the blocks themselves, when they're in the automation, on the right side is how you can then set the settings for that block. You will notice here on the message settings that there's an option that says change your global message sending options. Now, this only has to be done once for all messages within your automation. I'm going to go ahead and click that so you can see what this looks like. Once I click it, you can see something that looks very similar to what our broadcast settings look like on step 2. If you're not familiar with the broadcast messaging, then I will go ahead and explain this anyway. The from name here is going to be the from name of your message. The default from name. You'll see why I say that in a few. I'm going to put Emercury, and you see that this populates on the bottom. And then we'll have the from address. And we'll see here that that fills in the from address. This is needed. This is why I said you needed to set up your sender profile. If your sender profile was not done, then this from address would be blank and you wouldn't be able to save this information. Lastly, we'll set up the category of this message. And for this demo, I'm just going to call it holiday announcement because our creative team did create a holiday announcement. I'm going to use that creative to put inside this automation. So I'm going to click save, and that's it. Now I'll click close, and you'll see that I still have that block there, and I'm still in message settings. Now I'm going to want to create my message. So here I'll click on edit your message, and this opens up our editor. This is our standard HTML editor. And these are some settings that you can set for this message only. So first things first, we'll want to name the message, so we'll be able to determine what's what when we're looking at reporting. I may use a number here to show that this is the first message in, and I might call this welcome message. The from name, as I told you, I'd explained to you before, if you want to override the global settings, you can, and you can call this something else. I am not going to. I'm going to leave that as Emercury. You'll notice a plus sign here, which means that you can also add additional from names to your message. Subject line as well, I'm just going to say happy holidays or welcome and happy holidays. And you'll also notice a plus sign here, so you could do multiple subject lines as well. I'm also going to show you that you can add a variable if you wanted to. So if I wanted to customize this and put the person's first name in, I can do that. So basically, if it was sending to me, it would say, welcome and happy holidays, Michael. Next, we'll work on the message itself. So you'll see here merge tags. If you wanted to customize this by using some of these fields that were imported or created in this account, you can do so. All the fields are located under the Fields Manager under Assets. So once you create those fields and you import data into those fields, they're available. Once you create the field, they're available in this merge tag area immediately. So you can do that and then import after. Let me go ahead and import our creative. So what I'll do here is I had a creative made here. This is a happy Thanksgiving one. We'll go ahead and I'm going to view the source so I can copy the source code of this message. Oops. Oh. There we go. And click copy, and then I'm going to go back in here, and there is a little source button right here. I'm going to go ahead and click on that and take this and overwrite it, and then I'm going to hit the source button again. And you'll see that's as easy as it is to get a message in there. If you want to learn more about how to work with the editor, we do have a video on creating a campaign using the HTML editor. What we can do here is customize this a little bit if we wanted to. We can use some merge tags. If I wanted to put the person's first name in, I can do that here and automatically fill it in. We do want to remember to make sure that the font matches our font. So I'm going to select that, and I'm also going to select the font size so it all looks like it's matching when we send it out. And lastly, maybe I want to add a hyperlink in here for track, so I can show you how the tracking works. Let's say I do our domain, and then I think that's all we're going to do here for this message. So we have our link, and we can actually even link up this image if we wanted to. Maybe I'm going to say this goes to some holiday page and click OK. And then the reason for doing that is I wanted to show you that when I go to the Get Statistics on Click Links, when you check that off and you click Edit, you will see that both those links, emercury.net/holidays and then the eMercury.net, are now available here. And I can hit Save and Continue, and I can click Save, and this campaign is saved now. I can send myself a test if I'd like to. Click Next here, and my email address is already populated. If your email is not, you can click Add. I'm going to hit Save and Send, and it's sending me a test now. You'll also notice that there is a suppression button that pops up here. Once you hit Save, the suppression pops up and allows you to select a suppression if you wanted to suppress emails against this message, not against a whole automation, but against this message of the automation. We do that on purpose so each message has its own ability to select different suppression files if they want. If you want to learn more about suppressions or where they can be found or how to create them, go under Lists and then Suppression, and there is actually some documentation on creating a suppression or even how to create the suppression from that area. But that's where they all live. Now, I think I'm done here, so I'm going to click Save, and I'm going to go back to my automation screen, and I'm going to see that now this actually says Welcome Message. Now, what I want to do is, I think I'm going to add the wait condition. Actually, I'm going to add a condition that says, let's see. Let's say if not opens, maybe. Wait 1 day. And then send a follow-up message. Right? So maybe we'll try to get these people to open our contact to open up the message. So maybe we'll send the same message but with a different title. So I'm going to go ahead and click on it, and again you'll see the settings are on the right. I don't need to set the global message settings because that was done already, as you can see. I can click Edit Your Message, and maybe this will be, I'll mark this as number 2, and I do this just for reporting, so when I go through the reporting I can view the message very easily and identify it. I'm going to call this welcome message, or welcome again, I'll call it. And then this is still coming from Emercury, but this time I might say something along the lines of, did you see this? Maybe I'll even put the person's name in there. And then I will go in and copy my source from before and paste it in here. And again, if I had different message, I could test it, but if I wanted to send another test, I can. And hit save, and I'm going to go back and I'll see that that's there now. Now, let's say they still didn't open the message. maybe I want to do another condition. It says, if not opens in, let's say, I don't know, how about we say 14 days? Then we can move the email to a different list. You could do that. So maybe this list is your, call it, non-active list, or maybe it would be something along the lines of, try to re-engage them later on with a different campaign. We could also create a condition next to the condition that says, if opens, if opens, then maybe you want to send a different message, or maybe, that message will say, actually, let's say if opens, wait 30 minutes, and I'll send a follow-up message that says something like, we'll call this 3. And maybe this one will say something along the lines of, maybe you want them to do an action. So next steps. And I could just put something in here like first name, and I'm just going to leave it at that for the sake of time here. And I'm going to click save, so you can kind of see the structure here. And this goes down a different branch. Now I might even say, that actually I might even put this right here, and I say, maybe we want to say that these are engaged. So now I'm applying a tag. So later on I can maybe start off another automation based on this tag, right? So there's a lot of different things we could do here with the automation. We could also remove tags from the subscriber. So maybe if we had a tag in there that said that they were non-engaged, we would remove that. And lastly, if we wanted to do something along the lines of checking a field, we might say, check if the, and I don't have a lot of fields in here. I probably should have added one for something like this. But let's say the city is equal to New York. And if the city is equal to New York, then we're going to send a different message, right? Sorry about that. So then we'll say, I'm going to send a message that says, I think this was number 4, right? New Yorkers. And I can address them again. And I'm just doing some stuff here. Just wanted to let you know we have box seats to the Knicks game that we are offering to our best customers. All you need to do is sign up for our new widget before the end of the month, and you are automatically enrolled. So just kind of customizing it to New York, the Knicks or New York basketball team, and trying to also upsell a widget in order to get them into the promotion. So now I can go back and I can see I do have a bunch of different things going on here. And this is kind of going through all the conditions that we have here. You see the wait condition, you see the not opened and if opens and all those. So now I'll save the entire thing and close out, and you'll see that by default the status is disabled. We do that on purpose because we don't want you sending out any emails that are not prepared yet. So once you're 100% confident everything is right, you can go ahead and enable the campaign, and you'll see it says enabled. So our next step would be really to add an email to that list. And I said there was no emails here. So what I'm going to do here is let's add my email address and my name. And also I'll put in New York. And I think we'll do that. So I'll hit save, or I'll hit add contact, and now this contact is added to the list. And if I do go over here, I should see that it is now getting sent, and you can see what the campaign looks like. There it is there. So it is sending right now. If you want to learn a little bit more about how the reporting works, we do have a video called Understanding Reporting, and that goes into more detail about that. So that's really everything about the automation. If you did want to go back in and edit the automation, you can click on it and choose edit. That brings you right back in there. Close brings you right back out. And if you did by chance want to delete it, you can do that as well. That is it for today. Any questions, always feel free to hit this chat icon here on the bottom right, and we'll be able to help you right away.